Imagine you're sleeping in your home, feeling safe. Then suddenly a stranger breaks in. You don't know him, you've done nothing to him, but he kills you for no reason at all. This isn't a story from a movie. It really happened. In the mid-1980s, people in California lived in fear as a man known as the Nightstalker entered homes at night and attacked innocent people. His name was Richard Ramirez, and this is the terrifying true story of one of America's most dangerous serial killers. Richard Ramirez, known as the Nightstalker, unleashed a reign of terror across Southern California from 1984 to 1985. His crimes were defined by shocking brutality, complete randomness, and a chilling lack of remorse. Richard Ramirez was born on February 29, 1960, in El Paso, Texas, the youngest of 5 children. Raised in a working-class Mexican-American family, he endured a childhood marred by trauma. His father was reportedly abusive and had a volatile temper. Richard sustained multiple head injuries during his early years, including one from a dresser that reportedly caused frequent seizures, a condition some experts link to later violent tendencies. A crucial and disturbing influence in Ramirez's life was his older cousin, Miguel "Mike" Ramirez. Mike was a Vietnam War veteran who boasted of horrific crimes he committed during the war, including rape and murder. He shared graphic Polaroids of his victims with Richard and even taught him military-style stealth tactics. When Richard was 13, he watched Mike shoot and kill his wife during a domestic argument. This moment is widely considered a psychological breaking point for the young boy. Ramirez gravitated toward the occult and Satanism in his adolescence. He developed a fascination with serial killers and violent pornography and began using drugs heavily, particularly LSD. By his early 20s, he was drifting between cities, committing thefts, and experimenting with ever darker fantasies. Ramirez's first known murder occurred on June 28, 1984. The victim, 79-year-old Jenny Vinco, was found in her Los Angeles apartment, sexually assaulted, stabbed, and nearly decapitated. The sheer savagery of the crime initially gave little hint that a serial killer had begun his spree. In 1985, Ramirez launched an intense wave of attacks. His victims ranged from children to the elderly. His methods were erratic. He used guns, knives, blunt objects, and often tied up or tortured his victims. Some he raped, others he mutilated. There was no pattern to whom he targeted. His victims came from a variety of racial and socio-economic backgrounds. This randomness increased public fear dramatically. On March 27, 1985, he killed Vincent and Maxine Zazzara. Vincent was shot in the head. Maxine was tied up, then stabbed repeatedly after he discovered she had slipped out of her restraints. He gouged out her eyes and placed them in a jewelry box. These grotesque mutilations became a signature of his and shocked even seasoned homicide detectives. He attacked couples, elderly women, and even young children. One 6-year-old girl was kidnapped from her home, sexually assaulted, and left to wander back to safety. Another survivor, Maria Hernandez, survived an attack after Ramirez shot her in the face. Her keys had deflected the bullet. He then killed her roommate in cold blood. Satanic symbols, such as pentagrams, were found at some of the crime scenes. Ramirez often demanded his victims swear to Satan or made other disturbing statements referencing demonic forces. These elements contributed to his growing infamy and the public hysteria surrounding the case. Fear grips California. By the summer of 1985, the media had dubbed him the Nightstalker. Residents across California became gripped by fear. Homeowners began installing security systems, locking their doors and windows religiously, and sleeping with weapons nearby. Gun sales surged. Many feared they might be the next target, since the attacks occurred in different cities and followed no discernible pattern. Law enforcement from multiple jurisdictions worked together to solve the case, but the randomness of the crimes and Ramirez's lack of a consistent modus operandi made it difficult. However, investigators were able to link the murders through ballistics. A .22 caliber handgun was used in several attacks, shoe prints from a rare Avia sneaker, and other forensic evidence. The major breakthrough came in August 1985. After one of his final attacks, Ramirez left a stolen orange Toyota at the scene. Detectives found a single fingerprint on the rearview mirror that matched Richard Ramirez, who had prior arrests for car theft and drug possession. Authorities quickly released his name and photo to the public. On August 31st, 1985, Ramirez was spotted in East Los Angeles after returning from Arizona. His face had been plastered across news broadcasts and newspapers. Recognized by locals, he attempted to flee, but was chased, caught, and beaten by a group of residents. Police arrived in time to rescue him from the mob. His arrest ended one of the most terrifying crime sprees in California's history. The trial of Richard Ramirez began in 1989 and was one of the most expensive and sensational in California history at the time. He faced 43 charges, including 13 counts of murder, 5 attempted murders, 11 sexual assaults, and 14 burglaries. The proceedings were marred by delays, including defense changes and jury issues. One juror was even murdered during the trial, unrelated to the case, adding further tension. Throughout the trial, Ramirez remained defiant. He often made disturbing comments to the press and showed no remorse for his actions. At one point, he held up his hand in court with a pentagram drawn on his palm and proclaimed, "Hail Satan." His demeanor in the courtroom was cold, calculated, and at times mocking. In September 1989, Richard Ramirez was found guilty on all counts. During the penalty phase, the jury sentenced him to death.